and let us try to create something practically, and we'll see how it can be used. Okay, how it can be used. So let us start. Guys, in texturing, whatever the sessions we have done, next week I need all the render files. Somebody failed to submit the render files, I will not give the entry in the classroom. Remember this. Now, from now itself, I'll be very strict how I am in the college. Next week, next Tuesday, the lecture I will take on that. If you fail to submit the texturing assignment, I will not give you entry. First, you need to submit your assignments. Then only, if there are two students, I will take lecture for those two students. Though those will be submitting the files, I'll be happily taking their lectures. I'll not give any entry those who will be failed to submit their submissions. Okay, just remember this. Okay, so let's move to my. Today I thought of creating something, and a very simplified object I thought of creating. So let us check what can be done. So out of the sphere, let's try to create something. Okay. So something very simplified, because in the sphere already, you know that UVs are already unwrapped. Okay, though you can see those are not very good unwrapping, but then also it is unwrapped. A little bit it is unwrapped. So out of it, let's try to create a model, and then we'll do the shading. So for this particular modeling, what I'm going to do, let's do the modeling by using deformers. Okay, so going to deformer and taking lattice. Okay, so just apply. Okay, and all the subdivisions over here. So I want different subdivisions. Like in this also, I need another subdivision. So check. Okay, over there we got one, and over there I need one, and this also can be 3 only. So 3 3 3, something like this. Okay, what I am thinking, instead of 3, it can be 5. It can be 5. So guys, basically what's happening, and instead of 3, it can be 4. Previously, we have used lattice. So what can be done basically by selecting the lattice point, let's modify the object a little bit.
सर ये बॉक्स क्या है?
Sorry?
ये जो बॉक्स आप यूज कर रहे हो क्या है ये बॉक्स?
This is only lattice deformer. Lattice deformer. We have created from here deformer lattice. Okay, and if you right click, you will get the component lattice point. So these are the lattice points. Okay, now what can be used through these lattice points? Just check. So I'm just increasing the shape a little bit over here. Okay, now select this one maybe. Now selecting only this one, increasing the shape. Okay, now what was my plan basically? That now I will be selecting only this much, only this much, and I'll just push it inside. Understood? Have you seen the beauty of the lattice? Right? Now selecting these four lattice points. It's not getting selected. Yeah. And now just try to push it inside. Not too much. Something like this. Okay. So selecting this, I'm just showing out of the uh, sphere also. Something can be used. Can be used. Okay. What I'm thinking right now, that by using these four lattice points, deselect everything else, can be scaled down a little bit. Yes. Okay. Now same thing I'm going to do with this. Now similarly, okay. Just push it a little bit more. Can anybody tell what I'm making?
Apple, sir.
Yes. So right now what I'm doing, selecting the object, edit, delete by type, history. Okay, now this is permanent. So out of the sphere we have made this, and you can see how useful the lattice is. Now once again you can just select, and if you want to do some modifications, that also can be done by using the vertices. Suppose in this area. Okay, so because each and every sides will not be the same, isn't it? So I have to do some modifications in that. Uneven, because each and every apple will have its own shape. Something like this. Okay, distorted a little bit. All right, so I'll just save this. Taking a cylinder, and let's make the radius say zero point 0.1, and subdivision height, a few subdivisions, and straight. Okay, and you can understand this should be, in fact, all of these should be a bit narrow. Let's select this one, can be a little more. I'm just keeping it over there. What I'm thinking, still it is looking a little bit too narrow, so something like this. And at the top, not too much, and something like this, right? And in this, see, once again, I'm going to use a deformer, and that will be a non-linear deformer bend. We all have used previously. So maybe this side, not this side, in fact. Uh, let's rotate it 90 degree. So what will happen? It will bend in this side, this side. Okay, and low bound should not be any. So through curvature, you can decide like how much it should bend. So maybe this much. Okay, so selecting this, edit, delete by type, history once again. Okay, suppose this is my model. What I am thinking, still, I think it's a little bit too small. Something like this. Okay, now from here you can create a leaf also. It will look like a still life. How to create a leaf, you know that, right? You just need to create the plane, and the leaf will be ready through the maps. All right, now let's come to the UVs. UVs are there, and you can see here, I can see there is a little problem, but I'm not going to do anything in this. And over here also, I'll focus on this area. Other than that, everything is almost fine. What I'm thinking, we can make it like this. Or if you want to use the entire area, no, let's keep like this only. It will be better. We'll get better resolution. So keeping it like this only. In this particular case, let it be in the primitive form only. And what about this one? Only one thing I'm going to do, selecting this UV shell, and I'm going to the UVs, I'm going to unfold and unfold. Hmm. Selecting all, going to layout and clicking on layout. So something like this. Okay, it can be a little bigger, but I am just keeping it like this, like this. The UVs. Okay. Later on, you will come to know what will be the benefit out of it. Just one observation. You can model it a little bit better by locking the shape actually. You know what? After UV unwrapping, if you are adding loops like this, just check. There will be no problem. We just have added loops. So I'll just show you. So you are adding loops. Suppose over here. So you are just adding loops. There is no problem. Okay. So can be done. So that's what I have done over here. Now let's come to the texturing. Okay, so before doing anything, before shading, remember, before shading, basic lighting should be there in your scene. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, let's add, first of all, a plane, a base should be there, a base we need, and then going to Arnold and creating a sky dome light, right? So let us check. It's looking like this, absolutely fine. And after that, I need, so this was the fill light, and now I need to create an area light somewhere. Can be a little bit in a distance. And let us check how is it looking. So you can see it's not getting, why the background color is not taking, don't know. Let's go to the attribute editor and exposure. Let's make it 8, starting from 8, 10, let's say 11, 11.5. Yeah, this much. Okay. It it could be a little more. Okay. What I'm thinking, this can be 11. Okay, this can be 11. So this is our model. I'm not liking the background color, but I'm unable to change it. It should change basically. Let us check intensity. Let's make it zero point 0.5. Let's make it zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4. I'm keeping it like this. This one I'm liking. Okay, guys, tell me. So far, you people understood? All of you understood how I created the model?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, mm, okay. Now, let's do the shading of it. Okay. So for that, I'm going to the hypershade. I will do the texturing by analyzing it. Okay, and by using the Maya textures only. Let's try to do that. So I am taking AI standard surface. Okay, AI standard surface. We already have seen this. And first of all, let's assign it to the apple. Is it assigned? Okay. Yeah. Okay. AI standard surface. And what I am thinking, specular color, let's make it 0 right now. Okay. We don't want any specularity right now. Now here the color is there. So it is going to be a red apple. It can be a green apple also. But I am trying to make a red apple. Okay. So red color. But instead of red, let's assign a texture to it. So for that, I'm going to the 2D texture. Actually, right now, so many things are going on in my mind. Uh, I'm just analyzing things. A texture pattern will be there on the top of it, and some areas will be red, some areas will be yellow. Okay, so that is going on in my mind, and I'm thinking how I can achieve it. Okay, so let's start with the noise. Maybe that sometimes what you are thinking later on, some more ideas will come, but I will try to do it in front of you, so you also can see like how we can think while doing the texturing. So I'm assigning the noise to it. So this is the noise, and the very first thing I'm going to do, let's change the color offset to red or kind of dark red, and color gain, because this is means this is the option you can give color to your noise map basically. Okay, so yellow, and according to my experience this has to be a little dull yellow. Okay, so something like this. And now going to the placement node of it. Okay, placement node of it, And repeat UV, I am repeating it, let's say 4. Can you see? We are already getting the apple pattern. So instead of 4, I am making it 8. Okay. So much better now. You can see. It can be more even. Okay. So it can be 12 pictures. But what I am thinking, 8 was better. This is better. If it is 6, let's check how it is. Then also it is fine. But yeah, then also it is fine. It's looking fine. So let's keep it 6. Liking it. Or 8. To me, both are correct actually. Can be. Both can be. Okay, so let's skip it. And now I am creating another standard surface. Okay, so go to the shader, standard surface. You need to organize your hypershade very well. Okay, and now assign material to the selection, and this time okay, I will try one thing. Edit, duplicate, sharing network. Okay, and if I will just compare between these two, which one is looking better. Okay, so the same texture I have assigned to it. Let's click off the specularity for now. We are dealing only with color. So while working only with color, don't do anything with the specularity. Keep the specularity 0. That is a good way of working. Okay. So selecting this noise, everything is fine. I will just do some experiment in the color. So color offset, if I am keeping yellow, and if color gain I am keeping red, then how is it looking? It's you can see it's not looking good how we expected it, right? So I will just do it. And another thing, I will just check, going to effect, and if we can invert it. Okay, so I was thinking something like this, and let us check. This is fine. Alpha gain, if can help us. No, color gain. If it can be a little bit blended, the red also can be a little bit desaturated because it's too much, little bit desaturated. Okay, and not helping too much. So basically color gain and color offset, uh, with these two you are going to work basically. Okay, and placement node once again, like what can be the placement node, 6 or 8? In this case also, both are looking fine. Alpha offset helping any? No. Okay, so This is another noise. So now I'll just check which one is giving better result to us. So this is the yellow one. Um, this is the red one. Okay. For now, I'm keeping both. Okay. Now in the red, you know what? In the red, what I'm thinking, this color gain is a little bit too much in contrast. So it can be a little less. I'm thinking so. Don't you think it's a little bit too much? Okay. And now I need to do another thing, guys. This much is all right. I have created two texture maps. You understood, no? I have created two texture maps. One is yellow based, one is red based. I will see like which one is looking better. That's how you need to do experiment while uh, working in a file. Okay, now I will make this a little bit complicated. Okay, so in red, I want a variation of dark red and lighter red. Okay, in this red combination, a darker red and a lighter version of red. Okay, so how it can be done? I'll just remove it. Okay, and let's take a different texture. So what can be that texture? It can be a 3D texture, and in that we can take, let's say, stucco. You can see we can have uh, channel 1 and channel 2, and let us check. We'll just assign it. Oh, sorry, very sorry. We just need to assign it over here. Yeah, and it is looking like this. So going to the stucco, and let us check.
So
Okay,
means
going
we
to the
can change
placement
color
node of it.
value according to
Sorry.
मीन्स हम लोग कलर चेंज और वैल्यू जो अल्फा गेन का वो व्यूपोर्ट से भी कर सकते हैं कि रेंडर से करना है.
No, it's better to do in rendering only. Okay.
ओके सर नहीं समटाइम्स सर कैसे
Sometimes. No, in the viewport, every time will not get. Okay, it crashes. Yes, yes, you are true. But sometimes just just check the difference. Okay. Actually, in rendering, it is showing like this, but in viewport, it is looking like this. So this is the difference. That is the reason I could prefer to work over here. You can see the rendering in a true sense. So I just clicked on fit to group box, and my scaling is looking a little bit better. So now in this channel 1, so once again, what I'm going to do in this, so the blue color, I am making it red. Okay, red means it will be a kind of purplish and dark red. All right, and channel 1, I am keeping this, something like this. I guess you are getting my point, right? And now uh, this is almost fine. Now, still what I am not liking over here, it can go a little bit towards the red. Because the contrast, I don't need it that much. Later on, maybe I will come back and can convert it into the exact same color. That is also possible. So very, very little those texture maps should be visible. Little information is there. Okay, so this is all right. So what I have done basically, in my stucco, there are two channels. So one channel I have given a dark color so that there is no texture in that, only a dark color. So what can be done, if you want to make it a little bigger, those areas, so that also can be done. I'm just increasing it. So that is also possible. You know, making it bigger. Yeah, it's looking fine. Okay, and now I am having another noise over here. That was the yellow color noise, if you can remember, right? So we are having two different shaders. So just to remind you, we are also having this one, and we are having this one. Now I want to blend these two. I want to blend these two. Okay, one yellow version of the texture, one red version with very less texture maps we are having, and I want to blend these two. So let us check how to blend it. And for that, I'm going to my shader. Okay, and I'm going to AI mix shader. AI mix shader. Okay? So AI mix shader is like a layer shader basically. Layer shader of Arnold. AI mix shader. And what I'm going to do, there are two options, shader 1 and shader 2, like this stucco. So shader 1 and shader 2. So what I'm going to do, this yellow channel I'm uh, keeping inside the shader 1, and this red channel I'm keeping inside the shader 2. Okay, so still nothing is visible because mix shader not has been assigned to this. So now it has been assigned to this. But what's happening exactly over here, you are having mixed weight. So if you are coming towards the red, towards the right hand side, everything will become red. If you are coming towards the left hand side, everything will become yellow. So what I want a kind of blended version of it. Like somewhere the red is visible, somewhere the yellow is visible. Actually, apples will look like that, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, I am going to create a ramp for that. I'm going to create a ramp. Okay, so the mix shader is selected, and in this mix weight I am dragging and dropping this ramp and just selecting this ramp. Okay, and you can see Can you see what's happening basically? A part of it red and part of it yellow. But I don't need in this way. I want it in this way. Okay, in this way. Sorry. Okay, and over here also I'm keeping this needs to be white. Otherwise, if both the places you are not keeping the red, what will happen? Entirely, it will look like from here to there. Entirely, it will means one straight line will come, a seam will come. So that we actually don't need. Okay, now you know what these patterns. Okay, these patterns. To be very honest, I'm not liking. So once again, going to the noise 2, and it also needs to be actually color offset. What I feel needs to be darker. It needs to be darker. And color gain. Let's check if we are keeping the yellow only. How is it looking? Actually, it's not looking good. So kind of similar kind of color. If I am keeping, then how is it looking? It can be more dark. Yes, it will look better. Sorry. Only little bit hints is there, not more than that. Okay, now coming to this once again. Okay, this was the stucco. So just checking
Sir,
which side can be. Yeah.
सर AI मिक्स में मतलब लेयर टेक्सचर मींस शेडर भी मिक्स होगा और टेक्सचर दोनों भी मिक्स होगा ना?
Yes, yes, yes. So whatever shader we are using, that shader is also going to be mixed, and the texture we are using, that also is going to be mixed.
And if sir mix is
Definitely,
AI
because
mix is not
sorry.
means sir if AI mix is not taken and we can use only RAM, it also works.
Yeah, that will also work. Yes, definitely will work. Okay, so we are getting something like that. But now what I am thinking, let's do a little bit adjustments with the colors. So the stucco I have taken, the color has to be more dark for an apple. Okay, it has to be more dark. And once again, going to the noise. See, it needs time. Something is wrong. Oh, it's done. 1 minute. So uh, you have seen it's crashed basically. So let me open it once again. Since the beginning, I was thinking Maya is looking unstable. I have to check how much I have saved. Okay, so let's open the file. Just give me 1 minute. Opening the files. Hmm. Okay, I have saved to some extent. Okay, you can see the two materials I created, that is there, and
So screen shared.
I have shared the screen. You can see.
No, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll just stop it. Now is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, once again, going to the shader, and we have to take a mixed shader. Now almost, we know the values. So quickly, that can be done right now. So this was the shader 1, this was the shader 2, and in this, we created a ramp, right? And in ramp, here was the black, here was a white tab, here was the one white tab, and here it was black. All right, so the ramp was connected, right? And in that, the mix shader was like that. Okay, and in ramp, instead of VRAM, we created URAM. So it was something like this, and then I can do some adjustments. It was something like this. Okay, yeah. After that, what we did basically, we went to this stucco and made it too dark, if you can remember, right? And after that, we came to this noise and we made this also, this very dark, right? So far, we did this much. Okay. Now, what else can be done? This ramp I have created, no? This ramp. So what I'm thinking, this can be or could be, okay, the white portion could be a little less, sorry, black portion, and white portion could be a little more. So it's looking somewhere because the entire apple will be a kind of red apple. Okay, and going to this, the yellow color actually will be towards the green, and this red color will be a little bit less basically. Let's check. Okay, now what exactly I want some of the black patches are also there in this area. Okay, so for that, what we can do, guys, tell me, so far you understood everything, right? This particularly this channel, what I'm doing over here, what I'm doing, all of you understood this? Okay. Sagar means I didn't get your question. Sagar, I didn't get your question. Now, guys, I will just show you another thing. Like instead of this, suppose you don't want to keep this color. So what else could be done in this area? Instead of this, you also could have selected a kind of this kind of a color. Okay, a little bit more bright maybe, because some apples can have this color. Okay, so yeah, there can be various colors for the apples. Okay, I'm looking at the object in a backlighting condition, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, now what else could be done? I was talking that instead of ram, this ram, I was telling. Now in this also, in this selected color, okay, over here, it is of that side. So let's go to that side and let's check what's happening in this area. So light is there in this area basically. From that side it is hitting. So looking a little bit better. So in this, I can create another stucco or another crater. So whatever you want. Okay, so another stucco I am creating. Why so? So and it has to be, you know, kind of a black and white in the RAM, so that it will be. Can you see we are getting a little different variation of it? So fit to group box. Okay, so it is giving the variation. Somewhere the red is visible, somewhere the yellow is visible, right? So this is the reason I created this, and until unless you were very much satisfied the result, okay, trying to make it a little better. What I am thinking in this case, 1 minute. In the RAM, in this RAM, I created this stucco. Okay, going to the effects and let's invert it. Which one is looking better? I think this is looking better. Yeah, this is looking better. So going to stucco, and Yeah, it's easy actually. So instead of white, I can make it black, and instead of black, I can make it white. From here also, that can be done. So basically, it was white, and entirely the red was visible. And what if in the RAM, in the RAM, I'm just disconnecting it. In this black channel, I'm using this stucco. Then what will happen? Yeah, I wanted something like this. Okay, so once again going to the stucco, and it can be a little more red, but still those patterns are there, but I'm just blending it. Okay, let's see how
सर
much visible. Yes,
सर if अगर टेक्सचर यूज करेंगे तो क्विकली हो जाएगा ना मॉडल पे.
definitely yes. But today, what I'm showing, how you can create your own textures basically. That's our
ओके
goal,
सर.
no, today.
नहीं सर, एआई यूटिलिटीज में ऐसे कोई टेक्सचर्स नहीं है जैसे स्टको क्रेटर है.
No, most of the cases you will not have such direct textures basically, most of the cases, because there are millions of objects in the world, and it's not possible to keep all the textures basically in that way. So that is the reason it's very difficult to keep like that.
ओके सर.
Yes. So now there was a seam. Now that seam is gone, because in both the cases I have uh, kept the same textures. Now I am liking it. Now it's looking more realistic. So let's. So now this is the channel. You can make it a little bit more yellowish or more reddish. So this is the option. Okay, looking much better now. Where it has gone. Okay, so once again, just to remind you what I have done. This is my main mix shader. In that, I have created shader 1, that is yellow color, shader 2, that is of red color. And in that red color, I have created stucco to get this red, and one red noise is also there just to get all these areas. Okay, just to make it a little random. And how it will mix, for that, I in the mix I have created a ramp. In that ramp, it should not be a kind of linear ramp. Once again, just to break that, I created this stucco just to get these effects, so that it should not be a very uh, like linear shape, uh, linear shape ramp, or linear shape gradient. So because of that, so you can decide how much you need it and where you need it basically. You can see. I think this placement is looking better. Yes. So you can decide the placement also of these textures like this. So anyway, so one mix shader, inside that in two channels, two different shaders, and how it will mix, for that I have created this RAM. So now it is looking more realistic. Now going to this shader, and I am going to introduce in this also, guys, more things can be done, so just select this shader. I'm just showing you only the yellow color I have selected. Okay, and now I am going to the subsurface. Last day I didn't talk about this. No, I talked about this, right? So the same subsurface, and I'm adding a little bit subsurface to it, just to give it a fruit-like look, like the like inside it is juicy. Okay, subsurface color. Let's make it a kind of yellow. So it has to be the inside color, subsurface color. Okay, and you can add the radius color also. Radius color also will be a kind of similar kind of color, and we need to decide the scaling. Scaling is one for now. It can be. So just check if I am increasing it. You can see, and scaling is a little bit less actually in this case. So we can add the scaling because backlight is not there. It's very difficult to see what's happening basically. Okay, so scaling you can add a little bit, but the subsurface very less I am going to use, just to give a sense of a fruit, little bit. Without subsurface looking like this, with subsurface little bit illuminated the light area. Okay, only this much. Anyway, so now going to the specularity and adding the specularity in this area, you can see, right? This is also barely visible because that channel is not very much visible, and I am increasing the roughness also because in this channel it will not be visible too much. So somehow we are getting the specularity, but that is very less. Now selecting the second one. Until unless you are having the specularity, it will not look realistic. So now uh, I'm going to the second shader and adding the specularity. Okay, so now it is too hard, so the entire environment is projected on it. You can see, but it is looking realistic now. But what I'm thinking that let's make it zero point 0.9 maybe, or a little less, and roughness should be a little more. Like in the case of the apple, so if it is like this, an apple, no, it cannot be, right? Okay, when a realistic environment will come, it will look very real because the real environment will be reflected on it, so it is going to be very real. Okay, in this layer also a little bit subsurface scattering can be added. Okay, so let's say I'll just show you subsurface scattering color, maybe red in this case. Okay, so without subsurface, with subsurface. So you can see we are getting a sense of juiciness. So inside, then only it will become a fruit. Okay. Roughness, I think can be a little less. Apple IOR, actually I don't know what should be the IOR of Apple. That is the reason I kept it default 1.5. Okay, so it's looking like this, and now I am going to another tab, and I just stopped it. Yeah, standard surface. Once again, clicking on this and assign material to this. We need to assign material to this also. And this time directly I'm creating a ramp. So select this and give it a color. So I am adding three colors basically. Sorry, three tabs. So let's start with a kind of brown color. Okay. In between, there will be a kind of green color, and then there will be once again this olive brownish color. Sorry, this can be, this can go towards the yellow a little bit. Okay, something like this. Okay, many things, many more things can be done actually in this case. You actually can paint some textures on it. I just tried to get it wherever it came. I just kept it like that. But to be very honest, if I texturing an apple, I will paint some of the areas. Okay, so through 3D pen texture, you can, you have seen previously how I painted. So in the same way, I will paint some of the areas, and that will be just to get that alpha map, black and white map. I just paint that. Okay, so that also can be done. Anyway, now to get a better result for this, going to the texture setting. Going to the texture setting. Guys, in this one thing you have to understand that the environment I have created, no, this one, let's make the intensity 0. Okay, I'm just skipping this image and I will just render it. Can you see I am getting the volume of it? Only the reflection I'm getting from here. So if the suppose I am using HDRI, I will get a much better result than this. Okay, so right now it is looking like this, and previously it was flooded with white because of this environment. So without environment, it is flooded with black basically, or flooded with this color. Understood? So a better environment like HDRI, then much better result we are going to get. Remember this. So I think it was 0.4. Okay. So coming to the render setting, and we'll talk a little bit about the render setting. So over here, let's go to the unknown renderer, and we are having these are called sampling. So the entire render quality will depend on this sampling. So camera sample is basically the overall sample. Diffuse, diffuse means suppose you have created the light, it is hitting the ground. Then from the ground also it will bounce back, isn't it? When it will bounce back from here also once again it will bounce back, or bouncing back from here it will again bouncing back. Another object is there, from here it will again bounce back. So how many times it will bounce back, it will be defined from this diffuse. Remember this, okay? And this is the specularity. This area, any noise will be there or noise will not be there will depend from this specular sampling. So if you are getting noise in the specularity, specular sampling should be high. And if it is polished and everything else is getting some noise, then you can reduce this and some other sample you can just crank it up. Transmission. If you are using any transparent object, then you should use transmission. So wherever the transparent object is there, you are getting some noise in that particular area. So transmission value you need to increase. So you should know how much to increase and for which property you are increasing. You should know, not randomly increasing. No, not that's the point. Now SSS, if you are using subsurface scattering, like we have used subsurface scattering, you need to increase it. Remember, we are still getting some noise. We are still getting some noise on the surface. Okay, and that noise I'm sure because of the subsurface scattering. Okay, so instead of 2 you can make it 3. And this is volume indirect. If you were using any volume primitive or something, this volume indirect you should increase. But guys, remember one thing, that now just try to understand what is this basically. Camera sampling 3, that means 3 square. Over here it is written A means, like in algebra we write the equation like x plus y, like that. X plus y whole square is equal to the equation, we write like that. So A is like that, one, you know, one value. So now the value is 3. So the actual sample is 3. A means A multiplied by A means 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. So over here you can see the overall sampling is equal to 9. Okay. Now the interesting thing is diffuse sampling is 2. That means what? 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. Okay. Not that. Over here the sample is 9. Over here the sample is 4. So the actual sample is 9 multiplied by 4 is equal to 36. So this is the actual sampling, and that's why the diffuse sampling is 36. Similarly specular 36. Similarly transmission 36. In this case we are not using any transmission, so let's make it 0. We will not put any number in transmission, so it will just render the increase the rendering time. So transmission sampling is 0, you can see. Now SSS, yes, we are using. So once again SSS sampling, over here it is not showing, but the same 36, and volume sampling also we don't need. Okay, and still we are getting the same render quality. Now if it is 4, that means the total sampling will be 4 multiplied by 4 is equal to 16. So I'm making it 4. It is 16. So now here it is 2. That means 4 multiplied by 4 is equal to 64. So diffuse sampling is 64. So can you imagine if you are increasing 1, all the sampling becomes 64. Understood? So total sampling we are rendering 144. So this is very crucial attribute, not just putting some values. No, then it's gone. And see, we are getting much better result now. Very smooth result. So what can be done? I just have pressed 3 to get a bit better result. Okay, so that's how we are going to use these samplings. So not randomly just increasing the sample. And for a project for production work, this sampling can be 5. Okay, sampling can be 5. So still, suppose you are making it 4, still you are getting uh, some noise, some areas. Okay, in this I am not getting any noise right now. Everything is looking very nice, very blended result I am getting in this case. Okay, but still, if you are having any noise, then you need to analyze. Okay, in this area I am getting some noise. That may be because of the SSS. So instead of 2, you make it 3. Understood? So over here it is 16, and over here it will be, if you are making it 3, so 16 multiplied by 9, so that will be your actual sample for the SSS. So it works like this. Okay, so ray depth, I'm going to the ray depth. Over here also we are having some values. We can increase our uh, ray depth, like how much it is going to calculate. So in this case also, diffuse, what I told, basically the calculation, that calculation you want to increase, like it should bounce more times. So just increase the diffuse. Same for the specular. Transmission, very very important. If we are working with some transparent object, transmission will be very important. How many surface it should calculate, maybe later days I will talk about this transmission. Suppose multiple transparent objects are there, so in that case this transmission value in ray depth, transmission value will be very very important. Okay, so these are some important attributes in the render setting. You need to remember that before rendering, if you're getting noise, you have to come in this setting. All right, so guys, this is it for today. I just wanted to show, not by going to Photoshop or some other application, inside Maya also some textures can be created. Okay, but to be very honest, if I want to make this apple, I will not create it in Maya. I will use some different application, and very quickly I can give this output. Okay, but I was just showing in Maya also this can be done. You should know how to use the channels in Maya inside the hypershed. That is the reason. You also should try something like this. It need not to be the apple only. You can create something else also, some other fruit. But I want one fruit from your side. It can be watermelon, it can be some other fruits. But from each one of you, I want one fruit. It can be a banana, it can be grapes. To the same process, it can be done. You just need to analyze and need to put the texture. Okay, so in the entire apple I just made with a guesswork, like, okay, this texture can be used in this. Over there I can use a RAM, so I am going to get this particular output. I was just analyzing while talking, basically. Okay, and we got this output.
So ray depth is important.
Sorry,
Ray depth
ray
in
depth.
render setting.
See, while rendering, no. So how it is going to render? It is like physically, if you want to analyze it, you can just analyze it this way. Suppose a camera is there, the X-ray, we do X-ray, no, the ray will penetrate through your hand, and it will calculate, like the bones are there, if something else is there inside our hand. When we do X-ray of the human body, we do X-ray like that, how much it is penetrating, and this area it cannot penetrate. That's how the X-ray work. Over here also in ray depth also it is the same. The light ray is hitting the surface, and you are deciding how much it is hitting the surface, how much it is penetrating, like how many surfaces are there. Suppose you are dealing with transparent object, so how many transparent objects are there so that the light can penetrate through and can go backside. Are you getting my point? Transparent object light should go through, no? So you were deciding through ray depth how many objects are there. It should penetrate. And if you are talking about diffuse, I already talked about it. Like how many surfaces it is going to bounce. You are deciding that value through the ray depth. Yes, Saurabh, please. Sagar, you understood, no? Yes, Saurabh. Yes. Yes, please.
सर मैं शो करके दिखाऊं सर मैंने बनाया कैसा है और क्या दिक्कत आ रही थी सर।
Which one?
सर वो जो चेस में सर मुझे जो प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी सर वो पूछना चाह रहा था सर, और सर जब बना भी दिया वो भी दिखाना चाह रहा था सर।
Yes, yes, please. Please show it to us.
ये अपना टेक्सचरिंग के कौन से असाइनमेंट
Write it down in the chat box, whatever you people can remember. All of you, starting from the leaves, chessboard, all those assignments. All of you guys, whatever you can remember, just write down in the chat box.
सर विजिबल हो रहा है सर आपको सर?
Yes, yes, Saurabh. Yes,
सर
Vijay.
ये
Thank you.
सर ये देखिए सर ये बना दिया है सर, और सर ये टेक्सचरिंग करने वाला था सर, अभी मटेरियल कलेक्ट कर लिया। तो सर इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही थी, ये इसमें स्पेशली आ रही थी इसमें, और सर अभी भी दिक्कत है कि सर ये वैसा नहीं बना जैसा मैं बनाना चाह रहा था।
You
मैं
have made
इसको
it out of polygon.
ये सर पॉलीगॉन सर।
Actually, the main assignment was out of knobs, but it's okay. If you have made out of polygon, then also it is fine.
सर ये नर्व से बनाना था।
Actually, we're supposed to make it out of knobs, but it's fine. It doesn't matter actually. You can use polygon also.
ओके सर। सर मैं आपको सर वो उस रिपीट के लिए दोबारा प्रैक्टिस के लिए बना ही सकता हूँ सर, है ना सर? सर ये देखिए सर ये इस तरह से मैं बनाना चाह रहा था सर, वो बन नहीं रहा था। शायद वो नर्व्स ही शायद बेटर होगा सर।
No,
इसलिए आपने
now will be much more difficult for you.
ओके सर। सर ये देखिए सर ऐसा हो रहा है सर, ये मुझे ऐसा नहीं बनाना
No, no,
था
no.
सर।
Over there only four counts are there. You have created so many.
यस सर सर ये सर बन नहीं रहा था सर, ये काफी अजीब सा बिगड़ जा रहा था सर। मैंने सेव किया था सर, पता नहीं सेव नहीं हो पाया। और सर मैं आपको एक चीज दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ सर, मैं हॉर्स कैसा बन रहा था मेरा, बहुत ही अलग ही बन रहा था जैसा।
Horse, guys, I will show you how to create it in polygon.
ये देखिए सर, सर मैं इसको सर जब मैं स्मूथ कर रहा हूँ सर ये टूट जा रहा है सर। डिटेल वाला मैं ऐसा बनाना चाह रहा था सर काफी अच्छे से, तो मतलब सिंपल सर ये तो सर वैसा है स्कल्पचर से बनेगा सर, स्कल्पटिंग करके। लेकिन सर मैं थोड़ा सा डिटेलिंग करके सर बनाना चाहता था, बन नहीं पा रहा था सर ये। अगर मैं इसको ऐसा करता हूँ स्मूथ तो ठीक है सर, लेकिन सर ये नीचे वाला भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहा है। अगर इसको मैं अटैच करता हूँ अलग से तो ये वैसा ही रहता है जैसे रफ जैसा। तो सर ये कैसे हो सकता है सर, आप इसको एक बार दिखा दीजिएगा हॉर्स के लिए। और सर
Horse,
इसके लिए
I will show you guys. Don't worry.
और सर
I'm going to show you the entire horse basically.
और सर ये एक और चीज पूछना सर, ये मैं डिटेलिंग करना चाह रहा था, जैसे ये कटआउट है सर, ये मेरा तो सर ऐसा नहीं हो पा रहा है ना सर। तो सर डिटेलिंग में अचीव करने की कोशिश किया अपने अकॉर्डिंग, और अच्छा सर जो भी हो सके, है ना सर? सर ये और ये भी आप दिखा दीजिएगा सर, और ये भी सर इसका। और सर मैं एक बार प्रैक्टिस के लिए दोबारा नर्व से भी करूंगा, फिर उससे भी पूछूंगा सर, है ना सर?
Yes, for now, actually, uh, so many from your side, so many assignments are pending. So if you have made it in Polygon, keep
Okay,
Polygon
okay.
only and quickly, finish it off and just go to the other assignments.
यस सर। और सर ये चीज डाउट था सर, मैं जब बना दिया था सर, तो सर ये इस तरह से क्यों हो गया शेप सर? ये था।
Because while extruding, these faces were selected that time by chance.
ओके ओके सर, ये चीज पूछना
Hmm.
था। और एक और था, फाइव और शायद मे भी नहीं, ये हो गया। नहीं, एक और था शायद, हॉर्स था। एक मिनट, ये ब्रोकन हॉर्स था क्या? ये ब्रोकन में शो कर दिया मे बी शायद। हाँ सर, ये एक और है सर, जब मैं सिंपल हॉर्स बाबा बना रहा था सर बेसिक शेप में सर, सर ये भी ब्रोकन है सर, पता नहीं क्यों सर, समझ में नहीं है ऐसा क्यों हो गया। और सर एक और प्रॉब्लम थी, मैं इसको जब मिरर कर रहा था, मिरर भी नहीं हो रहा था। मैं काफी स्ट्रगल किया, फिर दूसरा माया 2020 में ट्राई किया, उसमें भी नहीं हो रहा था। फिर
No, no,
काफी
no, no,
इसको
no.
प्लेस किया,
It's
आगे से
not
जाके
that.
हुआ।
It's not that problem. No, it's not a software problem.
यस सर। सर जैसा मैंने ट्यूटोरियल में देखा, डेमो में देखा, वो एग्जैक्ट उसमें हो जा रहा है। मैं कर रहा हूँ तो सर मुझसे नहीं हो रहा था सर ऐसा। तो सर कुछ
Okay.
अगर आप शो कर दीजिए, शायद मेरा कुछ टेक्निक गलत हो गया या अपडेट हो गया और कुछ, है ना सर?
No, no. You have used Bevel Plus for this.
बेबल प्लस?
Hmm?
नहीं सर, बेबल प्लस नहीं किया मैं सर उसको फेस किया, और सर ये जो स्केल कर दिया सर इसको सर। तो ये शेप देने बेसिक शेप है, क्योंकि सर मैं तो अच्छा ज्यादा बेसिक करने लगा, क्योंकि सर वो बन नहीं था, वो टूट जा रहा
Okay,
था
for
सर।
the horse, don't worry. I'll show you how to create realistic horse. So this will be very easy for you guys.
यस सर, मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि सर जब मैं पहुंच जाऊंगा वो रियलिस्टिक ह्यूमन फेस पे, तो सर शायद ही मैं स्कल्पटिंग भी कर पाऊँ सर, है ना सर? आप
No,
जरूर शो
this
कर
will be
दीजिएगा
this
सर।
this will be very easy for you.
यस सर, थैंक यू सर। मतलब कि, और सर
Hmm. Okay, so yeah, you guys can see we have got all the assignment list. Cigarette, yes. Cigarette box, correct. Wine glass, correct. Chessboard, yes. Leaves, yes. Glass bottle, yes. Wine glass bottle, correct. What else, guys? Now, you know, a fruit. Today we have done. What else? Human face, yes. Uh, the island. What else we have done? Yeah, Nitai, actually, when you will be doing, suppose, the human face, you have to go through the UV unwrapping, no?
सर टेक्सचरिंग में सर सारे प्रोजेक्ट को टेक्सचर करना है सर, यही है सर?
So in texturing, whatever assignments we have done, you need to submit that.
ओके सर।
Nitai, if you can remember, I made a little island kind, and then I painted with grasses. Then I created a tree. Then I created water plane. Okay, so that assignment, paint effects assignment, that was right. We painted with paint effects. Okay, so quickly submit all these, and very soon I'll be using realistic human body and the animal modeling. Okay, so we want to do that. Those are not in the syllabus, but I think you should go through those assignments. Yes, Saurabh, please tell me.
यस सर, मैं सर भूल गया सर, मैं बताना कि अभी याद नहीं आ रहा है, वैसे याद आ जाएगा बोल दूंगा सर। मैं जब कर रहा था सर ये जो चेस के ऊपर सर, काफी सारे और भी कुछ टूल्स ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहे थे, मैं अभी याद नहीं आ रहा, मैं याद मतलब ये नोट कर लूंगा, याद आएगा जब, तो सर ऐसा कुछ।
Fine. Yeah, Nitai, car also I'll show you. Interior, I don't think you need to learn it. If you can create the village scene, then interior is nothing, isn't it? A few things like you will can try. If you are stuck in any of the areas, you can ask me. I'll show those areas, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so car. Okay, I will just try to show you some very simplified way to create a car. All of you can make it.
सर
Yes, Sagar?
सर मैं बोल रहा था मीन्स शेडिंग पार्ट सर खत्म हो गया मीन्स
No. We'll keep doing it. Don't worry.
बिकॉज सर शेडर्स बनाना था ना, क्योंकि मैंने विलेज सीन में जो भी क्रिएट किया है भी उसके अकॉर्डिंग शेडर्स में क्रिएट कर सकता हूँ ना.
Yes. So actually today what we were learning, we were learning to create shader only. Like the properties will be the same in each and every case. Like you will have diffuse color, you will have metallicness, you will have uh, specular roughness, you will have transmission, you will have subsurface scattering. All the objects can be created out of these 5 properties. Okay, so you just need to like today I didn't use any metallicness. Why? Because this was a fruit, so metallicness should be 0, isn't it? Specular roughness, I have used approximately 0.2 to 0.3, so that much should be in this case. So if I am creating a plastic, so specular roughness should be very low, maybe 0.05 or something like that. So similarly, if it is flesh, then specular roughness should be more than 0.4. So through experience, those things will come. But until unless you are doing it, only by knowing it, it is not going to help theoretically. That is the reason I am telling you. By reading any PDF, it is not going to help you. Even in the exam, you will not be able to write it until unless you are experiencing it practically. That is very important. Understood?
सर मीन हम लोग को यस सर. आई मीन सर पता कैसे चलेगा मीन्स कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी कब यूज करनी है, मतलब कौन से ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए, फॉर एग्जांपल बोर्ड
Yeah,
के लिए.
that is the observation. That is the observation. That is the observation. Means you take any let's say still life. Next day I will show you. Maybe I will create some still life next day. Okay.
सर
Yeah. Who is that?
सर मैं कह रहा था कि मैं सौरभ सर.
Yeah. Please tell me.
सर मैंने पीडीएफ डाउनलोड किया सर, एडवांस माया टेक्सचरिंग लाइटनिंग सर, 498 पेजेस है सर, और एक और है सर सिर्फ टेक्सचरिंग के ऊपर है. तो सर ये सर काफी सारे पेजेस को सर समझना है प्रैक्टिकल करके सर, है ना सर. सर उससे कुछ हेल्प मिलेगी सर कि आपका तो जरूरी है ही सर.
I will tell you something that previously we used to purchase like each year, like the Maya version is coming in the market, no? Maya 5, Maya 6 used to come in that time. So we used to purchase those books. And after that, when I was teaching in the college, we used to purchase for the college also those books. Believe me, nobody read a single page from those books, because we realized, means I am not discouraging you, but I'm just telling you that if you know practically, uh, then there will be no need of reading from the book, like how what is the process. Suppose if I ask you, write down a means descriptive answer how to eat food. You need to read something, a PDF, like I will read somewhere, then I will write down how to eat food.
यस
Know
यस
how to
सर वो
eat food, because practically
यस
you are eating.
यस यस सर
Then so it's the same thing. Practically, if you can do it in Maya, then you can write it down. If I ask you, write down how to model a hammer, you need to read anything from the book?
काफी ज्यादा डिफिकल्टी आती है, इसीलिए सर मैंने डाउनलोड कर लिया, आपने बोला तो सर मैं
No,
तो
no, yes,
लास्ट
yes, yes.
लास्ट
Difficulty
में
comes.
पढ़ूंगा.
No. Difficulty comes because students ignore the texturing assignments. They
ओ
do the modeling assignments. So while doing the texturing also, maybe they will be doing some modeling, some animation, some rigging, but they will not do texturing assignment. And this is a major problem, guys. I have seen in past, and that is the reason I'm warning you guys. Okay, then the texturing exam will not be so easy. So
यस सर.
understood. So whatever is taught to you, at least do those assignments.
यस सर, जरूर, श्योर सर. सर मैं असाइनमेंट करते करते सर हाफ एन आवर एक्स्ट्रा देके सर टेक्सचरिंग भी करता चला जाऊंगा सर, ज्यादा टाइम लगता भी नहीं सर.
Texturing assignments are very small assignments. So keep doing it. The day I taught you, same day you just finish it off. Then everything will be ready with you. There will be no problem. Okay. So from wherever the question will come, like if I ask you, write down a short note on condition utility. Okay, if you have done that practical assignment, it will be very easy for you to write. And if you don't know, by reading it, I'm sure you will not be able to remember what is the condition utility. Okay, so this is the reason I'm telling you, do the practical things again and again. Just practice. Okay, but next day I want the assignments. Now it's too much. And then another day I will tell you, if next day I'm not getting, another day I will tell you that those will be absent next day, and then I will start calling your parents. I didn't want to do that so far, but no, I need to twist the finger. Okay. uh, yes, Sagar, you can before that let me take the attendance. Ananta is present.